This video will demonstrate how to create an assembly in Civil 3D. I want to replicate this snip here and create the assembly and add in the sub-assemblies that are shown within this snip. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change my viewport configuration, and I do that by selecting the View tab, go to the Model Viewports panel, select Model or Viewport Configuration and to Vertical. My right viewport, I'm going to zoom in on the snip, and then the left viewport, I'm just going to zoom in just above the profile view. To create an assembly, we come up to the Home tab, Create Design Panel, select Assembly. Select Create Assembly, and we'll give it the name of Road 1 Assembly. Keeping all the defaults, select OK. Place your assembly marker anywhere in the drawing, and you'll see that the software will zoom into that assembly marker. If I zoom out, you can see it's just placed above the profile view. Adding in the sub-assemblies to the assembly, we select the assembly marker and we bring up our tool palette. Selecting the tool palette under the Launchpad panel, we get this tool palette menu appearing. Mine was on automatic hide, so yours might be too. It's maybe a little bit difficult to find it, but it's this bar we're looking for. And we're going to add in a lane super elevation AOR. That is housed in the lane tab here. If you can't see the lane tab, just right click on where all the tabs are sandwiched on top of each other and select lanes. You will see in this tab, the very top sub-assembly is the lane super elevation AOR. Select that sub-assembly and then select the assembly marker. I'm just going to use this arm of the assembly marker to place in this assembly. You'll notice that it defaults to the left-hand side, and that's just to do with the properties of this sub-assembly. It's set to left here. I'm just going to again click on this side and it will come into the right-hand side. The next sub-assembly I want to add in is this basic sidewalk. And I'm going to navigate through the basic. I'm going to navigate to the basic tab and I'm going to select the basic sidewalk. Selecting the basic sidewalk, I'm going to place this sidewalk on the top node at the end of the running lane or the lane super elevation AOR. So again, make sure it's the top node, zoom in it, and you can place in that footpath and do it the same on the other side. And lastly, I want to add in the daylight multi-intercept sub-assembly. So I go back into my tool palettes. I go to the daylight command or tab, and I navigate down to the daylight multi-intercept. Select that sub-assembly. And again, make sure you're selecting the top node at the back of the footpath. And right click or press enter and select this node and press enter. Now you'll see that you've just added in all of them sub-assemblies to the assembly marker. The next thing we want to do is we want to modify the sub-assemblies so they match the width and slope that is defined within this snip. To do that, I can see that the width of the running lanes are 4 meters, and right now all I can see is they're at 3.6 meters. So I select the two sub-assemblies by just left clicking on the sub-assemblies and go over to my properties menu. You should have sub-assemblies 2 here, and navigate down to the bottom and change the width to 4. After you do that, you will notice that the width increases, and now that matches the width of the lane super elevation on the snip. I'm also going to do the same for the footpath. Now I'm having an issue where the text is overlapping, so I'm just going to change the scale of maybe to 1:200, and you can see the information isn't overlapping as bad now. Left click on the two sub-assemblies for the footpath and change the width on this to 2 meters. And lastly, what we want to do is we want to change the slope of our earthwork sub-assemblies. So select the two earthwork sub-assemblies and change the slope. In the properties menu, the cut slope should be 1 and 2, so I'm just typing in 2 there, and the fill should be also 1 and 2, so I just typed in 2 there. You'll also see that there's this intercept number. Now you always want to have that on 1, so change that to 1 and press enter. And that is how you create an assembly, how you add in sub-assemblies, and how you modify sub-assemblies.